So the 59 Mercedes was back in the shop this spring for a seal leak in the rear end and some exhaust work. And I'll show you a little bit of what was done and let you see some images of this beautiful car. So the first thing I tackled was actually the rear pinion seal. So the rear end, after sitting all winter, left a puddle about the size of a dinner plate. It's American dinner plate, not, something normal sized. And that was enough to get the owner concerned, but it really was only, a few ounces. So the car was still safe to drive, but hey, if they want it fixed, we will get it fixed. And the worst thing is, this car has, I think it's 220,000 miles, and most likely this rear seal has never been out of the car. The rubber was, of course, hard enough, I would believe that, and it it also was super brittle. And then that caused it to wear into the yoke for the rear end a little bit. So it took a little work to get that smoothed out again. But luckily, the new seal is a really tight fit when original, so I didn't mind a little bit of missing material. And then once that was done, we tackled the exhaust. So the exhaust was a bit harder one to explain to people why it needed to be done. The car overall was quiet enough. It still had two mufflers on it, both of them leaking, of course, but that made it quiet enough overall that people thought it was the way it should sound. And most of the exhaust leak were kind of within a frame area, kind of a pocket that the exhaust goes through on these cars. So it was even hard for myself to trace down where all it was leaking. Decision was made to go front to rear basically. Left the exhaust manifolds on the car. So the front section of pipe for this car, because it is a split exhaust manifold, which wish American inline sixes would have done back then. But anyway, they bring their two pipes from the two manifolds in together and immediately put it into a muffler. This is brilliant design for getting some resonance away from having slightly different length pipes. But no matter what, I wanted to replicate that in a process of gathering up just kind of universal parts to make something like that. And I was going to cut off the pieces that hold the donuts in, but they were so corroded that that wasn't happening. And so I went back online again and then found a great supplier out of Germany that had, well, they had the front split and muffler. So I was just going to order that and build the rest for myself. And then I thought I might as well price the entire kit. And it added up, that's for sure. But this was all factory correct stuff. The only thing I had to do was cut the one center pipe a little bit shorter. That's probably for the four-door cars. And then, yeah, and shipping wasn't too bad. I think it was about $100. And yeah, bolt-on kit, since no one had hacked up the original mounts in this car too bad. And it's amazing that they hadn't hacked up the mounts, because they obviously put, like, it could have been a Toyota muffler or something. The rear muffler did not even fit the pipe brackets or anything. And then the front section, they had wrapped the aluminum around it with hose clamps. The exhaust was a mess. So it's great that we did front to rear on this, and it sounded much better. I was surprised that the factory correct system is actually three mufflers. Which does make it an extremely quiet car, but it also kind of ends up a little bit of a pulsing sound at an idle, which maybe they wanted it to sound a little meaner than it is, but I think I would have probably only done two mufflers had I built the system myself. But as usual, this car was a pleasure to work on and drive. It's amazing how well this thing still drives for the high mileage, but I'm sure we'll have it back in the shop again for some other work. So, and of course, I had to take some sound recordings for when this car had no exhaust on it, and then when it just had the first muffler. After the first muffler, the next one's recorded, or actually the full exhaust system. But it gives you an idea how different exhaust systems can make an engine sound. So it's interesting to note that I explained to the customer that do an exhaust first before, say, I do both carburetors, get those all tuned in and stuff like that. Was get the exhaust taken care of so I can hear what's going on. And what happened was, as soon as I got this new exhaust on, I could hear a strange airflow in the carburetors, and it turns out the front carburetor had the choke assembled wrong, and it was always stuck on just a slight bit. So got that dialed in, and she runs much better even. And always, thanks for watching. And if you're into old cars, rare cars, slant sixes, I have a lot of videos on Turbo Slant 6. But like, subscribe, alert, all the good stuff. Thank you. Bye.